Hey there YouTube, bit of an extra bonus video coming to you this time. I was just doing a bit of, going through my sort of collection of painted figures, and I noticed that I've got to my sort of bot action section, and I just happened to take down my US Marine Corps that's just stored up on a sort of higher shelf, and I just noticed that a lot of them are sort of falling over and stuff. So I took 10 minutes just standing them all back up again, and I came across all the sort of the inklings of my Finnish army that I started probably about 2 years ago, and I never really got that far into them. I only really did like sort of four or five units and some command. But I've also had this section of troops sort of off to the side here that are kind of primed and ready to paint, but I never actually got around to doing them. So I thought, well, assuming I've never actually shown any of my Finnish army, I thought I'd do a quick video on the sort of Finnish forces that I've done so far. Like I said, I probably started this army probably a good 2.5, maybe even 3 years ago. And I was I suppose it was towards the time when I was sort of burning out on bolt action. I actually got like a hell of a lot of bolt action stuff still sitting around in my plastic and metal mountain. I've got like an entire Soviet army, the good inklings of what was originally going to be a Chinese army, but I'm sort of going off the idea of that, and perhaps I'll just make them Israeli Germans. I don't know. And of course, lots of bits and pieces like tanks and half tracks and pioneers and stuff like that for my Germans and my US army. And I've even still got bits for my British army that was never really finished either. I've still got like a Churchill sitting around. So probably a good 30, 40, maybe even, I'd say it's 30 or 40% of my mountain is probably bolt action stuff, which is a lot of stuff. So basically what I decided to do is to just showcase you what little finished stuff that I've actually got painted up here in the box here, and see what you think. So let's start off with some command section. So here we go. These are all assault group miniatures, and they're actually Germans. So let's go into them. I think this was supposed to be the lieutenant. So you can see that I've done these guys to be continuation war Finnish, and I decided when I was basing them to do them as a sort of not quite sort of summer green grass, but sort of like sort of slightly duller grass, so it could kind of be used if I ever did want to use them in winter war. It wouldn't be like too, obviously it's not covered in snow, but then they're not exactly running around in sort of summer grass, if you know what I mean. Because I do actually have 5 ski troops as well, and I actually got another 5, and rather than to waste them, I thought I'd do them up and just give those snow bases and just give me the extra option if I do want to play winter war with those guys, then I can. So here we go. Here's another officer. I think this guy was supposed to be either a major or a captain. Again, originally the figure was a German. I think they came out pretty cool for Finnish, these guys. Obviously, it doesn't work for a lot of sort of bog standard Germans, although they are pretty damn close. But yeah, this is quite a nice figure. You can see that I managed to sort of give them a Finnish medal, turn the Iron Cross into a Finnish medal, and they have got their proper Finnish rank on their lapels and collar. And these guys haven't even got names, because I always name all my bolt action figures and give them ranks, and I don't think any of these have now. So here's the last one, the command group, and it's just a medic. And again, this is a German medic that I just converted into well, not even converted, just painted up as a Finnish. I think I just removed what did I remove? I removed something off him. His mess tin, perhaps? I don't know. I certainly did a little bit of conversion on this guy, but you can see he came out a perfectly good looking medic. And again, that figure is assault group. So that's the command section. Now, we're not talking about a lot of troops here at all. Next up, I'll bring in the only infantry section that I've got painted so far. This is a 9-man squad, I believe. because I didn't want to use the Molotov. So here we go. Here's the this is obviously an infantry squad. I can't remember exactly what I designed these guys to be, but these guys do actually have names and ranks on. This is the NCO. I think he's the rank of sergeant, which is, I'm not sure how to pronounce that actually, but that's the Finnish name for his rank. And you can see that I used I actually used a Finnish name generator to produce the names of these guys. But that's the sergeant. With a submachine gun, of course. And these, of course, are warlord Finnish troops. Here we have a bog standard rifleman. And of course he's got a name as well. Just a private, this guy, I believe. And let's go for another bog standard rifleman. I think they came out pretty cool. I was happy with the colour scheme when I did them. Another here's the second LMG gunner. Let's bring the LMG in next. Or the support guy. And then the final two, we've got one arm with a submachine gun. And finally, another one of this position guys. And there we go. So that's the only infantry section I've done so far. Like I said, I've got another section here, and I think I've got another two in my mountain. Next up, we have let me just double check what it is because I've kind of forgotten. I think it could be 20 mic. Yes, the 20mm anti-aircraft gun. So let's bring that in. This was done with two of the crew on separate bases. And here's the actual gun itself. So I'll show you the crew first. This is the loader. You can see that this is designed to be in sort of woodland. No name. This is the commander, who has got no name, but I imagine he would be probably a sergeant. I'd imagine I'll make him. You can see that he's filling out information in his range book. And finally the gun itself. I'm quite happy with the way this base turned out. It's kind of designed to be sort of built up into the on the outskirts of sort of some forested ground, and you can see that it's got like the Finnish colour, the camouflage scheme on the outside, and it's all sort of camouflaged in. And I've got this sort of wooden sort of fortification built around it. Really quite cool it turned out. And of course it's designed to be able to spin or traverse rather. So that is the 20 mic anti-aircraft gun. Pretty cool. One of my favourite models I think so far of my Finnish army. Next up we have the BA-10 armoured car. So here we go. This is obviously a Warlord model. Resin with I think it's all resin actually. Thinking about it, resin and metal. Pretty bog standard colour scheme. I didn't want to go too overboard in it. It's got a magnetised turret like I do in a lot of my resin vehicles, and it's not mega muddy, but it's kind of like quite sort of dusty, I suppose you could say, with a little bit of mud on it, all over basically. So it's not exactly the cleanest of vehicles. I could definitely do with a vehicle wash, this one. But yeah, quite happy with how that turned out. Quite a fiddly, well, I wouldn't say mega fiddly, but a fairly fiddly model kit to put together, I seem to remember. It wasn't exactly the easiest thing just to actually stick together and get it to stay stuck. Final thing, this is a little bit of a cop-out. I had obviously I wanted a tank for my friends, and obviously Continuation War, a good choice as a Stug. Now I have actually, this is more or less a straight out of the box German Stug. I haven't bothered doing any of the modifications to turn it into a proper Finnish one, which would be basically to change the machine gun to a DP-28, to build a storage box on the back of here, and then you can sort of go even further and you could put logs down the sides, and you can also build up concrete armour on the outside. But I just couldn't be bothered, so I just literally painted it up in a Finnish camouflage scheme, put some Finnish markings on it, and just left it because, to tell the truth, just can't be bothered. It looks nice, and if anyone's got a problem with it, that's tough. I really don't see why they would have a problem with it. I mean, it's not as if I'm trying to use like a Pershing to be a Stug or something. So yeah, I'm happy with it anyway. And I suppose at the end of the day, that's what counts. Like I say, it's got markings. It's got the Finnish markings on the side. It's got the Finnish colour scheme. Maybe in the future, one day, I might decide to build the box on the back. But I always planned to not really do much to it. And also, perhaps when I start my Soviets, I might fish out a DP-28 and swap it over. But I'm not really going to do anything more than, at the very most, build some kind of plastic hard box on the back there, but I'm not going to bother with the concrete armour. I'm not going to bother with the logs down the side, and that brings an end to this little tiny bolt action Finnish update. Like I say, I have actually got a fair sized Finnish army, but like I say, this is all I ever really done it, and maybe I'll do it. Well, I don't know. I mean, I was going to see if I could just quickly spot where the rest of them are, but I kind of know where they are, but they're not exactly easily accessible, so I'm not going to bother. But I believe I've got, let's think, I've probably got at least 2 or 3 more infantry squads, another squad of skiers, and a 105 howitzer, I believe. That would make up my Finnish army, because I remember when I was designing it, I didn't particularly want it to be a sort of like the 1,000 point mass army or 2,000 point mass army that most of my other armies are, just because of limited availability of things. I mean, if they ever bring out like some more infantry, or ever bring out like plastic Finnish infantry or something like that, then I'll certainly be up for jumping in and getting some of those, because I was finding that if you want some of the sort of the more sort of elite units, like the special forces units that they've got, and let me just quickly look them up in the book here, and also the long range recon squads. Here we go. Well, I'm going to completely screw the name up, but the Zakari light infantry squad, which would be great to model if you had some sort of plastic troops, and also the CC recon squads, and the Quaco Partio long distance recon squads as well. You know, there's some of the sort of squads require a little bit more finesse when it comes to troops, rather than just the bog standard infantry squad there. So that was one of the problems I was having, was trying to build those. You know, I didn't want a lot of them, but to try and build up a sort of like the long range recon squad or something, you want it equipped with some decent weaponry, and not, you know, you don't want Molotovs, and you want them to sort of look quite cool and sort of action packed, and all you've really got for choice is to either convert some Germans or to use the metal box that you're kind of stuck with, and perhaps that's part of the reason why I kind of went off of doing them. But you know, who knows? Eventually, I might get back to doing them. But yes, so I hope you enjoyed this little bonus video, and I'll catch you in the next one, which will hopefully be back to black powder. So until then, catch you later.